Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here one more day. I am Laura Urquizu, the president of Global Legal Tech Hub. And today I'm going to introduce an incredible topic that we will be discussing, that is the NFTs explosion. Is it just passing fad or a reality? Is it future business model alternative? Today, we have an incredible panel here, an incredible roundtable to discuss about these topics and to be giving us some light, no, to the ones that we don't really understand if this is a real business or a hype. The moderator of the table is Joaquin Martinero, who is the one putting together this roundtable today. Hello, Joaquin. Nice to see you. And Joaquin is banking, finance, and blockchain associate at Roca Junyent. The Roca Junyent is a former associate of Global Legal Tech Hub, and who is sponsoring today the roundtable. And the panelists today that we will be discussing with Joaquin are Alex Puig, the CTO at Kaelum Labs in interoperable workflows on blockchain. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Hi. Luis Carbajo, the co-founder and CEO at Votum, blockchain traceability and interoperability platform. Hi, Luis.
Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
And Tony Mateos, the founder and CTO at Freeverse.io. Hi, Tony.
Hello, thanks for having me here.
Okay, so well, listen, guys, the floor is all yours, and looking forward to listening to you.
Thank you, Laura. Well, guys, it's a pleasure to have you all three here. For all that have been meeting these guys before, they have been related to blockchain ecosystem for the last several years. Before that, we tried to bring a crypto artist also to the roundtable, but Mateo couldn't reach it. So we have three amazing guests. I would like to introduce by themselves. So Alex, if you want to start to introduce you, what's going on with Kaelum Labs and how you have been in blockchain ecosystem these years?
Hi, my name is Alex Puig, and I've been around blockchain for, I would say 9 years now. So when it was no blockchain, it was only Bitcoin by the time. And I've been involved in many different projects and even conference events and many other things. And lately, we've been working hard on the idea of decentralized workflows. So inter-process between companies by using, of course, blockchain and self-sovereign identity. But yeah, basically my area of expertise is self-sovereign identity and everything related to identity. For me, at least, NFT, it's a form of identity. So I'm here.
Thank you very much, Alex. Luis, it's your turn. Explain us what's going on in Votum.
Votum, a lot of things are going on in Votum. We are a company that was founded 3 years ago. I am a digital veteran that I was kind of blown away for what this technology can do in the digital world. So we create a company to bring this technology to corporations. And that is basically what we are trying to do. We create different solutions for traceability of data, certification of data. And now we are also involved with the interest that corporates are having also in NFTs. So doing a lot of stuff just to bring this technology to corporates.
I'm aware of that. And now, Tony, let's go to the esports area and to all the gaming area. Explain us what is going on in Freeverse.
Hello, I'm Tony Mateos. My background, I started in physics and mathematics. After doing that, I went back to 3 dimensions in the tech industry. I'm one of the founders of what's now called Dolby Atmos, brought to the market by Dolby. And I fell in love with NFTs almost 4 years ago. I quit my job to start a company called Freeverse, where we are trying to do, since more or less 2 years ago, what we believe is the next generation of NFTs. And I hope we have some time to cover that today.
Well, thank you very much for your introduction. It's great. And now I would like to start about what people want to know more about it. We are in an in a momentum that it's full of FOMO. It's a hype on investment. Also, Dogecoin has reached an amazing reaching capital. So tell me what is going on about NFTs, how you've been thinking that it's moving around, moving towards, and if it's true that NFTs is not just an investment stock, or it's more than this. If you can give your ideas about it, like go on, Luis, start with you, then moving to Tony and Alex.
That's a really interesting. I think that the Gartner in their hype curve they create this hype curve for a reason. I think that right now we are at the top of the hype curve related to NFT technology, and it's going to be a delusion stage, and people are going to lose money because they didn't understand what's going on. But at the end, there is a powerful technology that is going to find their way into their regular business and into specific industries, and they are going to change a lot of sectors. So yes, there is a hype. Definitely, there is a lot of people that are putting money in things that they don't understand. Definitely. So there are going to be a lot of losers, as we have seen in this industry already. In 2018 will be a good example of that. But definitely there is value, and it's clear that when there is money, normally there is value behind that. So I am thinking that it's following a very similar path what the internet was at the beginning, what Bitcoin was at the beginning, what other technologies has been at the beginning. And yeah, we are going to see a lot of goes up and downs, but definitely there is value in what is going on with NFTs.
Yeah, I agree with Luis that currently we have a bubble and that is going to burst. But I also agree with him that there's going to be, when you see what everyone is building on top of NFTs these days, right now we have NFTs mostly as collectibles, static things that you have somewhere there and you just maybe show them off and that's it, right? But when you see what's coming next, every single large company trying to provide utility to these NFTs, you quickly see that after this probably imminent bubble that we're going to see, there's going to be a ramp up towards a very sustainable business, I think, for the digital industry in general.
I don't even think this is a bubble. I'm not really sure because honestly, I don't see the difference between like maybe a Bitcoin and an NFT. Basically, blockchain is a way to represent value and to know who's the owner of a value. And the difference between if it's fungible and non-fungible, I don't see that much. And yeah, I think we're still at the beginning of everything. So it's not a bubble. It's not an isolated thing. I believe at least. I think it's only the continuation of the logical continuation of everything that's happening with the blockchain. And NFT has value in many ways that we are not seeing yet. We are seeing artists. We are seeing pieces of art, music, or whatever. But then probably for the financial system, there's a lot of application for NFTs, really way beyond art and the applications that we're seeing today. I'm just seeing a more broader adoption of blockchain and maybe a better use case to bring blockchain to everyone, especially to young people. All of the young people, they are really used to own digital assets. So for them, it makes a lot of sense. But that's how I see it. I don't see a bubble, but that doesn't mean that the technology is mature enough, and we will see a lot of people losing money and blaming the tech guys that we are building this because it's your fault. We lose our private key, but that's also part of the logical evolution of blockchain. So
yeah, but if you have pointed out that you know that this technology will have a massive adoption and NFTs is part of that. But well, I would ask all of three that tell us a really simple explanation about that. It's an NFT because people nowadays is talking about, wow, that's an NFT. I'm going to buy a card of LeBron James doing a smash, and that will I will sell it for 2 or 3 times more than I bought it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just a small definition about what's for you an NFT, because people say, well, it's another crypto. And I say, well, experts could explain you better. Alex, your turn, and then moving back to Tony and Luis.
The people that follow me, they know that I always say that blockchain it's only a better way to replicate the physical world. Mm-hmm. So blockchain is that technology that allows us in digital replication of the physical world without any intermediary. And that's exactly that. So any piece of paper, any piece of property that we own, basically right now we have a paper that there's a signature there and we can prove that it's ours. So it's exactly the same, but in a digital way. And in the same way, if I give it to you, then you own it, and I don't know, own it anymore. And that's probably the big difference. In the digital world, everything happens by making copies of it. So if I have a paper and I send it to you, basically I'm making a copy of the paper that eventually reaches you. So I'm not really giving you that paper, that property. I'm just making copies. With blockchain, that's really changed. It's okay. No, there's only one. There's only one paper, and instead of giving you that paper, I'm changing the owner of that paper. But it's proving ownership of any kind of digital asset.
Yeah, I don't quite share the fact that the blockchain is really mapping the real world in this sense. So when I get a car, I know I can drive it. I know, I can touch it, and I know exactly what well, not exactly, but I kind of know what I'm getting, right? I think in the blockchain, what you really own is a register somewhere in someone's memory, in a shared pool of memory by everyone. And what really matters, and I think that's the really deep thing that the blockchain brought and Satoshi those days, is that that thing represents what we all agree it represents. So it's not just a computer, it's Bitcoin is money as long as we believe it's money and we accept it for transactions, right? So you own a register somewhere and you can prove that you own that register. Now, what you can do with that is up to people and the human layer that you put on top. So I think that's very powerful. That's super incredibly powerful. It's the first time you can prove you own something digital, right? But what you really confer to that digital thing, I think there's more complexity than just saying that it's exactly like in the real world.
My turn. I will simplify this, saying that an NFT is just a proof of ownership, period. So it's a proof of ownership of a file, a digital file, and who have it can say that is the owner of that. That is basically what, for me, I will explain in a very simple words. Maybe it's oversimplifying the state, but for me, it's just that. You are creating a digital file and you say that you are the owner of that digital file in a way that can be proved to others and verified by others. That's it. So trying to simplify in this non-fungible token explanation, this is what I think that you are able to do with this for someone that don't understand much about technology.
Yeah, and close to this, Luis, if you prove the digital ownership of that asset, do you think that big companies will be really interested in this technology and to applying this technology? Are you having been testing this technology to these big companies? Because people, as Alex was talking about, were now in a collectible zones, like just a passing fad, people just buying pictures or a tweet from Jack Dorsey for $2.9 million. It's this technology applying to these big companies. And have you been in contact with them?
So yes and yes. The first one that we were involved with NFTs was 2 years ago for collectibles, for a media company that wanted to create these collectible cars for e-gamers, actually. Mm-hmm. That it wasn't mature enough. We weren't able to move that project along. But well, people that wanted to have this kind of collectible experience in the digital world, they already see the potential. Right now, after it explodes with the Christie's auction and all the craziness about the NFTs and in the art world, we have demand from corporates that we have been working with in other blockchain projects, asking us about blockchain and about NFTs. And curious enough, it didn't came from the marketing department. Wow. It came from the legal department, that they see this as an opportunity for them to show ownership or to prove ownership of some of the assets that they have. And some of the assets that they have are digital assets. So it's kind of curious. So obviously, there is some spark for this that has been what has happened in the art world with this craziness about NFTs, etc. But the corporates are putting attention and saying, wait a second, if this is a proof of ownership of something, can I use it in my day-to-day? So yes, we are working specifically for a big corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation, for something specifically for the legal department, what is kind of curious. From that point
That's good. That's good for legal departments and lawyers. We are breaking the wheel in the technology area. We are proud of that. Alex, that's moving to
Yes,
you.
because normally it's not the case. You are putting the stop always to that kind of stuff.
No. We're just bringing certainty. We're just bringing to assure that everything is going the good way. Come on.
Of course.
That's what we lawyers have to do. Alex, you used to talk about processes. You don't like to talk about blockchain or other technology. You talk about processes related about what Luis was telling us. Have you seen that these big companies also asking this technology and other blockchain technology to certify this identity, sovereign identity, and just creating like an NFT in those days? Have you been reached for that, or what's your point of view?
Yes, in fact, the way we work, that basically we can interact with the process just by proving ownership of an NFT. An NFT can be maybe an NFT can be anything. It's something that you prove you own. So I can prove that I own a verifiable credential, a certificate that I'm the legal manager of my company, or I'm the legal advisor, or maybe I'm the compliant officer. This kind of thing. So basically, all of these capacities owned by the different representatives in the company, they are NFTs. And you can use these NFTs not just to prove that you own them. That's cool, of course. I'm the owner of a tweet. Somebody asked, like, what's the point of owning the first tweet? I don't see it. It's something only collectors and really fans, they understand. I don't see it, by the way.
Well, will be the collectibles, right? What is the point for paying for the first handwriting letter of Abraham Lincoln? So it's exactly the same point, right? So
it's the same point. It's being a fan. So that's something only marketing people, they understand. But then being able to use this NFT, like to get access to a particular digital place or physical place, it makes a lot of sense. Being able me to prove that I'm the owner of my company, to interact with the process and being able to sign or approve a document, that's the kind of things that we are doing right now. But we are already doing that. So the thing is that a lot of people, they are working with certificates, and most of the certificates, you can consider them NFTs. And we are working on a way to consume those certificates in a way that it goes beyond just proving that you are the property, the owner. It's like using them, interacting with them, evolving these NFTs. So there's a lot of things, and a lot of companies, they've been interested for the last 3-4 years. Even they didn't call them NFTs. That's why I'm saying that I think this is just like a normal evolution of blockchain.
Yeah, well, then, Tony, Alex just pointed out the evolution of NFTs related to your platform, related to crypto soccer and so on. Tell us if that evolution is going on, if there are any examples, because what we are talking about, something physical has been digitalized, that's certified with a timestamp, like a signature or a collectible, but they're evolving like a Pokemon, or just staying like this.
Yeah. This is the bet that we are making in our company, that this longer term sustainable business, at least one of its main legs, is going to be based on evolving NFTs, not just collectibles. We really think collectibles has a market, but we think that the largest market is far beyond that. And I'll give you maybe the simpler example is in esports, for example, or in video game kind of esports. Imagine that instead of just having collectibles in your video game, you start acquiring, something like an item in your video game for whatever market value. It could be zero. It could be given to you for free, right? But instead of speculating with it and expecting that somebody will buy exactly the same thing, but more expensive, imagine that you play with it, you play better than others, you put a lot of effort, you put your skills, and you do really well, and you evolve it by playing, right? And that happens in so many types of games these days, no? Imagine that after that very same item is more useful to other people, right? So it has a larger market value, and I sell it for a larger market value than I bought it for, right? If I do that, and I think this is profound, I will have been able to transform my time and my effort and skills into market value, into money. And that's esports. That's essentially what's behind competing for money, right? And we really think that this is like democratizing it. You're going to be downloading a video game on your app, on your phone, and from minute zero, start doing esports, from having something that is valued nothing to all, up to what a professional in that video game could aim for, right? And we really think that this will transform esports and video games in general, this kind of evolutive part of the assets. And it's one of the things that we're betting for. And that's what our clients right now are asking for as well.
And thinking about democratizing, I like a lot the idea, but it goes really beyond, because whatever you do in your game can go beyond your game. You can move everything that you're building in a game to a different game. There's right now places where you can put your NFTs in the wall of your digital world. So these NFTs, they don't belong to a particular game or to a particular company. They just can move everywhere. And I think that's where we will see a lot of stuff in that direction, like evolving the NFTs, but then moving the NFTs. Probably we'll see artists that they will not belong to any company or even a gaming company, and they can create a unique sword being sold by millions in different games. We'll see this kind of crazy stuff, I think.
I absolutely agree with you, Alex. I think video game companies didn't have this incentive right now to make assets compatible among them, right? Because they were their assets. But when it's the other way around and it's the owner, the users that actually own these assets, then these companies will be forced to making these games compatible with the assets. So they will have a large incentive for doing so.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Yeah, and that is what has happened. I think 2 or 3 days ago, that eBay, that was the #1 place that were all these video game assets selling in a non-legally way, just say that we'll start doing NFTs. So Luis, that you're related to this traceability, that's NFTs technology, I would say the #1 technology to certify this traceability, or there's other kind of technology that we will use it for big purposes that could be scalable. Because people are talking, oh yeah, I got my RC 721 and my RC 1155, but this technology mature enough, or it's possible that would not be enough to scalability, this potential.
So my answer is no. I think that to bet in just what has been built in Ethereum, that has been the most popular one for these NFT products, it maybe is going to be successful, maybe it's not going to be successful. The technology is moving so quickly that other public blockchains are taking over in the way that probably digital assets for video games will be more useful when you really think on making these products massive. And massive means that millions of kids or teenagers or professional gamers or e-gamers are changing or exchanging these NFTs that Tony was talking about. Probably we are finding some limitations with the technology that we have today, and that will need to evolve. So the answer is that needs to evolve a lot just yet. So for that reason, I think that whoever company is looking into invest effort on understanding, on exploring, or trying to find a return on this kind of technology, they need to think really about interoperability, what kind of blockchains you are using, but also separate how I can separate my business model from the technology that is behind. That is something that from the beginning in Bottom we have it very clearly. Because today is Ethereum for EC 721, but tomorrow could be EOS because they have doing very cool things, or after tomorrow could be another blockchain, right? So from that point of view, I think that we are still at day one, and things are going to evolve drastically, and you cannot bet in one blockchain versus other because probably you will be wrong, or we will be wrong. I cannot make a bet today.
Yeah.
Well,
Alex.
From the technological perspective, I think it's quite scalable. There are a lot of solutions on the layer 2 of Ethereum, and probably Tony can add a lot more about that. But I see a lot of scalability in most of the solutions, and also like solutions like Flow, for example. If you know that, where NBA Top Shops, they're building on top of that. So basically, they invented the NFTs the way they are with CryptoKitties a few years ago, and they just built a full programming language, just around the full idea of NFTs. And believe me, it's called Cadence. I've been playing around with that, and it's quite solid, quite scalable, quite mature. I think the problem, it's not exactly there. I think the technologies there can scale. There's a lot of layer 2 solutions on top of Ethereum that can make it scale and not really expensive, quite cheap, by the way. And then probably what we need now is more tools like wallets for NFTs, a lot of more of interoperability. I don't believe there will be just one blockchain. There will be many of them, but technology is mature enough, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't want to sell my own company's technology, but
I did it for you.
thank
you
you,
owe me
Alex.
a beer. You owe me a beer.
Yeah, afterwards, please. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I actually agree as well that some of the things already there, in particular layer 2 solutions, are already capable of delivering, the next level. Not the level maybe that you really want for, for the definitive one, but really a next step from what we have right now. And I think that it will change the paradigm. Right now, we are seeing the tip of the iceberg with expensive things, very scarce things, etc. Right? We're watching only the Lambos and the Porsches of the car industry, right? And I think that once we scale, we're going to see the pyramid that's behind, below, with all these assets that don't, that are much cheaper to produce, much cheaper to consume, evolve, and share. No, and that's where I think sustainable business will grow.
So, yeah, from the technological point of view, you say that this scalability is possible, that technology is mature enough, but well, then why this year has pumped up once again NFTs, if that has happened in 2017 with CryptoKitties that almost kills Ethereum's blockchain instead of consume? And why we are talking again, it's like a passing fad. We talk about ICOs, then STOs, then moving to DeFi concepts. And now we are on NFTs, and next year we will not talk about NFTs never again. What's your opinion on that? Because if that has created in 2017, and Alex and Tony and Luis has pointed out that this technology has been working for a long time and it's useful for that, why we're talking like this and not for NBA top shops, but it's a passing fad that people are investing like this, and next year will be back to DeFi 2.0. What's your point of view of that? Alex, go.
Okay. Like, there's been a lot of people selling NFTs, and some of them have been sold for a lot of money, and that goes to the news. That's it. Usually, it's quite simple. I see that we will keep on talking about NFTs in top of DeFi, in top of blockchain, in top of. I don't think that we are moving from one side to another. We are just adding features that the blockchain has, like it's an evolution of blockchain. And we will see a mix, and we're already seeing a mix of DeFi and NFTs, NFTs tokenized, NFTs as collateral for a loan. So we will see a lot of crazy stuff. I don't think that we're just at the beginning. But probably the more we go into mass adoption, the less we will speak about blockchain or NFT, because that's just the technology. We will speak about whatever platform that they are making a lot of money, or they have a lot of users, or that everybody's using and everybody's talking about. And most of these technologies will go in top of that. It's like, who's not right now talking about social media? They speak about Instagram, Facebook, whatever, but nobody's is doing like even conferences about social media. It's normalized. It's there. So we won't speak too much about that, but everybody will use it.
What you just said reminds me of something I read recently, that just like almost every company these days has a social strategy and social, either externalized or within the company, right? Everybody will end up having an NFT strategy, to be able to survive and make profit out of that. Yeah.
I've seen that on LinkedIn, NFT strategies.
Oh, really?
I've seen that, and I'm advising many companies right now that they just came to me, and I'm doing as an NFT strategy or NFT advisor, because they are lost, and when it comes to technology and what they can do and what other companies are doing, and of course we've been following that. So I'm an NFT strategist. I don't know if I should be proud of it or ashamed, but yeah. I'm not putting on LinkedIn, by the way.
By the way, on Kim's comment on CryptoKitties, I think that when CryptoKitties, collapsed Ethereum those days, there were many of us that received that as the challenge. Not the three of us here, but the entire community, I think, and not just us, but also some people that are tech savvy and are always looking at the very next thing. They really got it, and that's why so much effort has been going on onto scalability these recent years, right? I think this is the first year that this discovery has gone to the mainstream. Like almost everyone now, you can, everyone outside the media, the technology industry, understands what NFTs are, or think they understand it and talk about it and that stuff. So the public has discovered it. And I have no doubt now that what's coming month after month from now on it's going to be giving utility to this and building something sustainable out of this. I've no doubt.
I have kind of the same opinion. So it's true that the industry has moved along a lot of hype and downs and all these things. Most of them, I think, that were related to the trading part of it, of making a lot of money with cryptocurrencies for not very understandable reason at the beginning, where it's like Forex or other kind of trading experience in which people, they think that they can make money, they put money and they sell stocks like without knowing too much about it. And that hurts a lot what the technology was behind it. And for that is kind of unique because, we have been in the media for scams and for other things that for fraud or this kind of stuff that is not very useful for anyone. But we are reaching this tipping point in which the technology has passed that fate, in the sense that people that want to make money without no reason, to understand what is behind and how that can be used and for what kind of use could be useful for the user, for these customers. And I agree with Alex and Tony in the same way that no one have online marketing department before, and now they have online marketing departments. All the companies, they are going to embed this technology into their companies, into their products, into their business processes. And we are not going to talk about blockchain anymore. We are going to talk about traceability solutions. We are going to talk about certification solutions. We are going to talk about collectible solutions. We are going to talk about this, and what is going to be behind the scenes is going to be blockchain. And that is how I think that is going to evolve. And this tipping point has happened with all this craziness this year, when fans of NBA are able to understand what's going on, what NFTs are in Saturday Night Live in the US and are making songs, are making fun about it, is how people understand, okay, something is going on here. In the same way that Facebook was in Saturday Night Live 10 years ago, or Amazon was 20 years ago, and they were making fun of it, right? So I think this tipping point just arrived.
Well, now if we are in this tipping point and we're talking about blockchain technology, that we will be talking about solution, it's necessary to be afraid of maybe the daily active users in the blockchain that could affect the scalability. You thought that many companies will start using not just NFTs, but all blockchain technology for its certification or several applications that could be aware of what Alec has mentioned, that will not be just one blockchain, that will create several blockchain interoperable, because to not being, I don't know, to be stuck for this amount of users that will start using blockchain application, and it's not enough technology or need not support of that. Luis, Tony, Alex, what do you think about it?
I'm a guy. I love the challenge. Let them come. The more people they join, like the scalability we have right now probably wasn't thinkable of 3-4 years ago, and we have it now, because the more people we have, we are tech guys. So basically, my job, I always say, like, my job is to get solutions, not problems. So if we have more users, we'll find a way. We have layer 2, we have Flow, we have Polkadot, being able to interconnect many different kind of blockchains, Cosmos. There's a lot of solutions and more to come. So I don't see that as a problem. I see that as a challenge, but it's a challenge that the blockchain community will solve. Probably we already solved part of it.
Yeah, maybe Luis, you want to go first?
Yeah, well, I think that on that topic, I think that there is going to be some sort of a lot of networks that are not going to continue in the future. So there are going to be a lot of consolidation. There are going to be new solutions like Polkadot or Cosmos that they are going to really being able to help with some specific use cases. And that is already the solution that Alex was talking about. What I am not sure is if with this consolidation, we will not still need some sort of layer to do this interoperability between networks. That is going to be necessary. And I also think that at least at the beginning, there is not going to be 3 or 4. It's going to be more in the tens of the hundreds, because there are some specific use cases that, just for scalability, for security, for other 1,000 reasons, they are going to need very specific solutions. So I agree that it's a good challenge to have, and it's. I was at Amazon when Amazon was only selling books, so long time ago, right? And our challenge was to find warehouses big enough for all the shipments that we need to do at those years, right? And it was a great challenge to have. So in the same way, when people are getting these massive adoptions, the technologists are going to find solution for them. So I am optimistic.
Yeah, I'm partially optimistic and partially pessimistic here, and I think the problem is really complex. The problem of, as you said, right? Some networks have different needs, and it's not that trivial to connect things from one network to another. Although there are solutions, there's things already proposed there. No, to me, there's such a clear advantage from the user perspective that there is compatibility. So I think the user really would love to see compatibility. You know, bring my assets from this network to, don't even think where your assets live, right? Just like I can send an email and I don't care what your server is running. My fear would be that in the future, things get fragmented, like in the social media, that I cannot export from my Facebook to somewhere else, etc. And things get compartmented. And there's, you know, instead of a standard that allows you to get the best out of everyone, that you actually have to decide for one. I hope we don't make the mistake that we made with social networks, for example, in this case, no? And we actually do something that benefits the user across all the networks here.
Okay, well, I think from the technical point of view, I think we have been talking so much, and I just want to move abroad from this technological that you feel comfortable about it, and just move to the real internet world, talking about what's going on in the market and what's your opinion about these companies that are moving towards to capital markets like Coinbase, and in the following weeks we got Kraken, and why you think that this broad consumption, not just of NFTs with cryptocurrency, that will bring enough knowledge to the people to understand what's going on with blockchain, or it will be just totally separated and people will just start using application with blockchain technology and DLTs technology without knowing that? What's your opinion on that? Do you think that it's something that will be explaining to the people that they are using this technology, or just will have it without knowing them? Luis, if you want to
start. Well, first of all, I love Coinbase IPO. I think I was really excited about it. It's like a really clear sign that this is serious, that there are very serious companies that can be built on top of this. So from that point of view, I'm really excited. It's exactly the same tipping point, right? Coinbase is in NASDAQ, and that is really exciting for all of us. Said that, is basically great because institutional investors are going to be able to invest in these cryptocurrencies with a more secure sense that they are not stupid or they are putting money in something that is not regulated. So from that point of view, a lot of money is going to go that way from people that their job is to find financial products and make money with them. Said that, it's true that there are a lot of investors that are just regular people, that they don't follow this kind of financial products, that they are going to be exposed to very risky financial products. And maybe they are going to lose money in the same way if I will be losing money when I invest in something that I don't know anything about it, right? So from that point of view, it's true that it's opened the door and it gives publicity to a very risk financial product that anyone can buy and trade, etc. So from that point of view, there are going to be very big surprises. But we are all adults and responsible. You know what you do with your money, and if you put it in something that is risky, you can lose it. So
not me. I'm not adult and responsible. That's at least what my mother says. So probably she's right.
Maybe one difference in the future that we're going to see. So it's great that, as you said, Luis, that investors now can start trusting more, that there's more regulation. I think it's urgent that we regulate many other things related to crypto, and that we make that as universal as possible, that it's not just on one particular territory that I know this is going to work. But I think that maybe one thing long-term that will happen is that it will be more risky. There will always be extremely risky products associated to crypto that we don't see nowadays in standard companies, just because of the fact that it's tech that to exist, it really has to be based on a currency. So all these, there will always be wild experiments going on with an extremely high risk as well as potential gains in the map, together with more, standard now investments.
Yeah, well, before starting with the questions that, all the people that are connected, I will ask you just one question. I will ask and answer yes or no. Dogecoin to the moon, yes or no? That's the main question that Elon Musk answered on Saturday Night Live. What's your point of view, Luis?
Well, he make it go very, very high, and he make it going down very, 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 very low, right? Just making this joke on Saturday Night Live. So it started as a joke. Now some people are using it, like the Dallas Cowboy is using Dogecoin for some of their memorabilia and products. So maybe it has value. But so it goes up. Elon Musk says something, goes up. Elon Musk said this is a joke, it goes down. Quite honestly, I am not going to invest on that because it's too risky for me. But it's the same as the influencer kind of standard, right? You follow someone, is an influencer, and people buy a lot of stuff just based on what the influencer said. Before, 10 years ago, that doesn't exist, that figure, right? Now you can have this kind of influencer like Elon Musk that is doing exactly the same with other stuff. So I don't know. I cannot say, I will not invest in Dogecoin, but why not? If Elon Musk, I will know that he will still saying that it's really cool. I will put money on it, that's for sure, but I don't know what he's going to say tomorrow. So.
Okay. Tony, what's your point of view?
The point is that I don't really care if it goes up or down. What I do care is that it's a punch in the face to people, reminding ourselves that money is what we believe money is. If we believe that this is money, this is going to be money. And in this case, we believe what Elon Musk says, that's money. If he says otherwise, it's not. So it's really a proof, an empirical proof.
Alex?
Yes, definitely yes. Touch the moon.
To the moon.
we take life too serious, so we should make fun. And if somebody with a joke like that can make profits, I love it. It's a yes.
Okay, well, let's go with the question. Well, thank you very much. Not with our NFT expert, that was Alex. Our community manager also is Alex, has been answering some of the questions during the chat. But the first question that we got here is, what we're gonna see with NFTs in the following month? Which do you think would be the bet, not just with NBA, but what will be the next NFTs that will be on the market, will be a useful proof that it's applicable to some solutions? Tony, what's your point of view?
I think we're going to start to see more utility, more companies providing you, granting access to things that you couldn't if you don't own something, allowing you to use it in their universe, as well as in the real life, going to a VIP zone in a stadium if you own some digital player, for example, as well as, I hope, living assets, NFTs that can evolve and that you can provide market value by your own actions, not just by speculation.
Alex?
I see, not just NFTs, we will see a lot more tools, more technology. Like right now, if you want to mint your own NFT, it's not quite easy, and we'll see a lot of tools to make things easier for companies, for individuals, like not just that, wallets, a lot of stuff all around NFTs. And the NFTs clashing with DeFi, for sure.
I think that we are going to see a lot of exploration for non-expected players, for corporates that want to see if there is value on this technology, that they are going to start they started with certificates in the blockchain or traceability in the blockchains 2 years ago, that they will do a pilot, they will try to understand what's going on, they will see value from that pilot, they will scale to a bigger pilot, and they will introduce that in their business processes. So we are going to see a lot of non-expected players playing and identifying use cases or identifying use cases in which they can use this technology, and they will start testing. All corporates are not risky in nature, but they will start testing this technology in doing some pilots and moving that into production when they are sure about the ROI that they could get. So it's not going to stop at collectibles, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, another question that Alex has answered, but I was just jumping to the floor again. It's about security and avoiding crimes. Yes, using NFT and blockchain in general, Alex just answered that's doing a proper KYC. I will ask you also, Luis and Tony, what do you think that this KYC will be in the following years? It will be so restricted as financial products, or will be adapted doing with the usage of this token? Because people said, okay, if I'm buying an NFT, I will have to do a KYC completely as I'm buying a financial product, or it will be just using that login with my user password and that's all. What's your point?
I would like to ask you the question to you, Joaquin, as a lawyer, because quite honestly, it all came down to regulation, and I think that they need to find a good understanding of what is reasonable from putting some expectations in terms of how you control these NFTs versus what is the use of that NFT, the value of that NFT. But it's difficult to say. If they introduce a lot of regulation for doing KYC because they believe that a collectible from something is going to be millions in some years, and that it's going to be something that someone can, I don't know, be responsible for if it's not happening or whatever, it's going to be difficult to move along. So I expect that they will put some logic into this regulation, and it will not be KYC for everything, I hope.
Yeah, I hope the assets that really are based on utility, right, that unlock something that with this I can bring it to my game and that I can do stuff that I cannot without it. The base of this pyramid I was talking about, where utility is clear, I think that's just regulated as utility, right? As if I were buying an item in the store right now. And I agree that the top of that pyramid is the one that is, sensitive to speculation, basically, or mostly. And I think, and I really hope that they at least produce something that is clear in terms of law. Companies will adapt to whatever law is once it's settled, but I really think that line there, which is really complicated to settle, at least is clearly regulated.
Okay, the last question that we got right now, if there's no more, it's what's your point about NFTs related to music, and what do you think that will happen? People, I think that's right about Elon Musk's song that also has been set by as an NFT. What's your point of view as a technician? That's all these music royalties that we have at the end of the 90s that Napster has democratized everything. And now it seems that the musicians and all the creators having the power back to them. How do you think that will be solved? It will be a price? It's just something that has exploded. I don't know, Luis, if you want to start it, or Alex, whatever.
I don't know much about it, but I think that it's going to crash that industry in an incredible way. So, and why I'm saying that is because in this industry that has suffered from the internet revolution, right? In the past, when the players, most of them, they are not happy how the things are today, especially the artists and even the labels are not happy today because they think that Spotify or Apple Music or these intermediaries that they have today, they are getting too much of the pie and they are not getting as much as they should. So NFTs allow to change that, and I am going to that is going to shake the industry. I don't know how or who, but as you have so many players unhappy with the current situation, it's for sure that they are going to use this technology to make things better for one side or the other.
I'm not that optimistic because there's this kind of evil people called lawyers that basically and it's a topic I know because I've been speaking a lot with some artists and singers, and basically they don't belong anything about them. So they have these agreements where basically not even pictures of themselves or things they say, they are owned by them. There's nothing they can do at this point. Even yes, the technology can disrupt. Probably we'll see it in the next generation. So in the next generation of artists, probably most of them without these kind of agreements that they already signed, they will be able to go outside. But I don't see the what's going on changing right now. All of the people that they're coming to me asking for music and NFT, it's like after speaking a lot with lawyers, with experts, with it's so closed. It's so difficult to get into the wall of property of rights of songs that probably we will see in the world of music a lot related to fan experience, probably even ticketing and moments, some kind of mix between social media and NFTs. But it will take a lot of time until we see some kind of major musicians going to NFTs for the rights of their song. And it would be great. Imagine that you have a song and then you put it the right as an NFT, and then you tokenize that song, and every time that the song is played on Spotify, all of the people that they have the tokens, the rights to the they get paid. That would be awesome. But I don't think we will see that, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I think the problem is massive. It's not even about you putting your song there. If you want to make this song and you look at how you make the song, you're probably going to be using audio samples from other places. Those audio samples come with rights as well. And it's so complicated. You don't even know where to get those rights or who to ask. And it will depend on in which country you are. So my only hope there is that because it's so complicated and so many parties are unhappy, as Luis was saying, not just the artists, but people who want to build businesses on top, that they manage to at least, make some things simpler and more transparent. But I'm not too optimistic either. Yeah.
Well, Laura, you're back.
Yes, I want to participate a little bit also in the questions, if you allow me. I mean, it's been so interesting. I think we've learned a lot, and I have a question. You know that my company is Red Points, and it's a company that we fight counterfeiting and anti-piracy online, and for that we use artificial intelligence, we use bots, we use algorithms. So I have a couple of questions. First one, do you think that we can find fake NFTs? And the second one will be, do you think NFTs can help to fight fakes online?
If you allow me, yes, there are a lot of fake NFTs, basically because the problem of identity is not yet solved. So
oh my God, that is very interesting. I would have said, no, that you were going to say, no, that can't happen. Really?
The problem of identity is not really solved. So we have centralized identities that they are not verified. I can publish an NFT right now and say that I'm Bansky, and probably somebody will believe it and they can pay a lot of money to me, and it's of course fake. It's not real.
What happened if I buy a fake Bansky? Like what happened if I buy your NFT?
That you are basically the happy owner of a fake NFT.
Yeah, that's the main point that, at this point, American lawyers are talking about it. One thing is that the digitalization of something, and the other is that you have the right from the owner or the creator of that asset. And that has to be clarified. There's no regulation about NFTs, and we will see it in the future years, most related to intellectual property.
Okay, that's very interesting, because then we can have a new line of business, no? NFT owners, no? I mean, we protect content to not only fake products. So I understand that NFT can be content too. I mean, content that we can protect.
In fact, like we are working, that's a personal project I've been working for the last year. It's called SNFT, and basically it's bringing verifiable credentials from self-sovereign identity. It's signed NFTs. So in a way that the metadata of NFT, it's signed by the author in a way that it can be proved that only the real author can issue the NFT. But it's a really complex problem, by the way.
Yeah, we will call them solution, Alex. Do you think that it's properly?
But Laura, you are completely right. If you are basically trying to protect content or digital content for your clients, at the point is doing, imagine that this content is issued as NFT from the beginning. So your customers basically have that proof from the beginning. And if you need to go and obviously pursue that specific website or whoever that is using that, you can prove very quickly that this content is owned by your customer or your client. So from that point of view, that is what I was mentioning at the beginning, that legal departments are talking with us for that, one big corporate. So happy to talk with you to explain what we are doing on that front. And let's see if Redpoint can do that.
Yeah, thank you. That is very interesting. Thank you so much. I don't know, Joaquin, if you've got some more questions. Otherwise, I think we should be closing.
Well, it's not a question. I just want to thank all the panelists that has been there. Also to you, Laura and Albert, that it's always there. The Global Legal Tech Hub, I think has been great roundtable. And we hope to be back with NFTs 2.0 close to DeFi, as Alex was mentioning, and try to figure out new solutions.
Yeah, well, no, thank you to you so much. I mean, I think all of us here in this side, we really enjoyed the roundtable. Also, I can tell that you've been having a good time discussing. I could say by your interaction. So thank you so much. Thank you so much also to all our attendees. And well, in 15 days, we will have a new roundtable. In that case, will be around marketplaces probably. So. Thank you so much also to Roca Junyent for putting together this beautiful roundtable. And I hope to see you, all of you, back in 15 days. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bueno, no se nos oye, ¿no? No sé si estamos dentro o fuera. Albert,
no, ya no se nos oye, ¿no?
Sale grabando y espero que esto ya